nothing wrong with it. And what's this, a Kia police car, and that classic Kia wheel, which Kia's not at the show here, but here's a Kia police car, and that happens to have then the Kia wheel on it. So we've got the Kia wheel here, and this has the sweep thing going on with the spoke, with the black part being the aero fill-in effect, spoke with aero fill, and the sweep with a gentle sweep and that type of curve action. So that's more like the right treatment, and there's a number of different ones out there. So if you do that well, it can work, and Kia's doing it here. They're not the inventors of it, but if you don't overdo the sweep, if you've got a little bit of sweep curve in the spoke itself, and if you land at the periphery well, they've gone with this angle, which is one of the options. I won't comment on it here. You want to see side by side what other have done, but it can tie it together, and when the vehicle rolls, you've got that circle effect with the silver on the periphery, so that can be fun. Stationary versus rolling, it's got two different look effects. So I see what they're doing, and it's interesting. They brought it to us. There's some good there with that wheel. It's aero, so it's doing the job at the same time while pulling the brakes. It's got quite a lot of openness. It stands to be, you spend a bit of time with it, and of course there's vehicles out there you see at the supermarket now, and you get a glimpse on it. But it stands to be one of those sort of things where, look, if it's got enough aero, because it's quite open, that's the concern, could we do better with aero? The plastic bits are quite a bit of plastic there, that's very light, that's the aero fill-in, so that's not adding much weight while getting the aero done. So many of the Tesla, then it stands as sort of like one of the default fallback options, like we want to know about those. Kia is not here, but for this stand they put in the Kia EV9 because they're talking about towing something. They want an appropriate vehicle that is electric for their electric system product. So we get to have a look at that particular, and again, we're so familiar with the Kia wheels now. They've been out for a while, so I'll just get on the set here. Very straightforward, sort of simple end result. It does the job. It's in that aspect a proper aero wheel. They've got some three-dimension going on to keep it interesting and engaging. If it's too flat and not three-dimensional, lacking kineticness, I think you run into a lot of trouble looks-wise. And then they've got this, with all of that, you're letting some air in to cool the frictional brake components within the wheel, and it's still dominantly covered. So if it's getting the cooling of the wheel done, it stands to be giving proper aero performance just by a flat cover effect. And these are some of the default options where, look, no harm, it's just there. It works, and overall for the vehicle it works. You could say, but I want some much more interesting wheel, and then no argument against it. There could be some sort of much more interesting wheel, but as a fallback default, you can just say, I can take that. And it performs an aero wheel, and we have no information on how heavy it is in terms of material use, so we can't comment on that. We'd have to get in there and start taking apart the setup of the aero covers versus the wheel to get more information, but not available at the show here. Oh, and at this stand, I walked past this, didn't capture this vehicle. So I'll just grab this one. This back to